Okay, so I was doing some research when I was doing some research when it comes to. I've mentioned before how emotions lead to chemicals being released in the brain, and when certain emotions are activated, they trigger something within your brain, right? And since it's a chemical, it can actually be addictive. So you can be addicted to emotion. This is not the first time anybody said that, but you can be addicted to emotion, and then it's almost like your brain remembers what caused it. So it seeks it out and it looks for that scenario or situation so that it has a reason to release the chemical. I was looking more into things like diagnosis, like when it comes to bipolar, schizophrenic, or anything like that. Now, the bipolar, I believe it's a sway from one extreme to the other, obviously. But that has a lot to do, if you ask me, with traumas and stuff like that as well. And when we don't know how to manage certain emotions and we're empathic or we carry a lot of emotion to begin with, like feeling deep, you sway from one to the other. That could just literally be a personality trait, how much you feel. But the only difference is how you regulate, how you control that. And then when it comes to, what's the one with the voices and stuff, schizophrenic? When it comes to schizophrenic, I have a theory that because our energies, we can pick up other people's energies. There's other people that are very skilled at tapping into other people's energies. Now, there's some people that use that for good, and there's some people that don't use it for good at all. And when a person's at a low vibrational state, they're vulnerable to any kind of energies coming in, not just positive, but negative as well. So, especially if they're asleep, like when I say asleep, they're not aware of how everything works energetically. I'm still teaching myself some stuff that wasn't taught to me. So, they're vulnerable and they can be used as like a puppet on a string. And the problem with that is it's almost like they're a vessel, right? So if they have all these energies coming at them, and then they have the gift of what is it, clairaudient? They're able to not just pick up people's energies, but they almost tune in like a radio, and they're able to pick up on people's I'm going to say voice imprint energy. It's like the energy that's thought out. Okay. The energy that's put out or thought out is literally like a wave, right? So if you think of it as like a sound wave, um, it can have your frequency. So it may resonate with the sound of your voice. And if a person's able to pick that up, then they are able to internalize it, kind of like a bouncing inside yourself or in your head, like an echo. Excuse me, I just had a shake and there's. Anyway, so yeah, it bounces around in there. And if you're picking up multiple different energies at the same time, and you're picking up different, let's say there's people that are interested in you and they like stalk the shit out of you, or there's somebody your entire life, maybe somebody in your family that's just been, they have this weird fucking obsession and they just do their damnedest to like overpower you and just want to take over your every action and movement, almost like a control thing. Well, if you have all these people that are coming in at you, let's say an individual has that, and then they're experiencing, but they've never been told anything, they've never been explained any of this, and then they go seek help, and then they say, oh, you're diagnosed with schizophrenia, or you're diagnosed with this or that, a chemical imbalance, maybe you're ADHD, which really means you're bored as fuck. You just are not mentally stimulated. The mundane shit don't cut it. ADHD is just you need to keep busy, and they found ways of doing that with the whole fidgets and stuff like that, which is really smart. That's another way of handling something. You don't have to pop pills necessarily to balance out the chemicals in your brain. There's a reason why there's an imbalance to begin with. you don't find out where the imbalance is coming from, and usually it's emotional. Emotions release chemicals in the brain. Then how are you supposed to solve the problem? Or are you just like popping pills the whole time? Anyways, that's my opinion on it, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm not a doctor necessarily. So yeah, I was thinking about that for the voices thing. And if you're a clairaudient and you can pick up all that, me personally, I don't tune into many people. I don't like to look into people either. With the energy reading, it's like a present thing, here in the now, the moment I'm in, the room I'm in, the people I'm dealing with at the time. I really try not to dig too much deeper when I'm having a conversation. Sometimes it's hard, and then I'll end up saying something that catches a person off guard, and they're just like, right? Or wrong. But there's a lot more to it. And I think doctors should be taught about this sort of thing, energetic wise, because you're like a human radio. You have all the things necessary to conduct and pick up frequencies and also project frequencies. So I think we've gotten to the point now that this should be addressed, because I think way too many people are popping pills and way too many people are going downhill, and it's not okay. It never was okay, and it's not an excuse to look for an alternative method, and it's just because it's easier. No. I mean, great to the people that invented things to help with this, but being codependent on it instead of healing your body, which you naturally are able to do, is any kind of codependency is like an addiction. Like if you were drinking wine and popping pills, or you couldn't cope with past traumas, so you just take hardcore drugs or something. No judgment, by the way, if I'm calling you out and you're like, oh, just talk about me. No, maybe, but not directly. If I say anything that directly resonates with you, unless I'm like with you or connected to you in somehow, like some way, if I'm picking up on certain things and I'm putting it out there, that's the message for you. That's what resonates with you. That's what you're supposed to get. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But if it hits close to home and you're like, and then you get offended, you get offended at me for? How am I supposed to help you? How am I supposed to help you if you won't talk to me? Or anybody else for that matter. Even yourself. How is anybody supposed to help, right? It's kind of killing my buzz a little bit. I'll probably paint or draw or something like that, but I thought this was really important. My words, because you know what? I know a lot of people that just supplement for the solution. They just take supplements for shit. And it sucks. And then I'm the fucking weird one for expressing all this shit. For actually coming out and saying it. And I'm like the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. Mentally, physically, everything. If you think I should be in a mental ward, then that's a projection on you. That's what you're sending to me because that's how you feel about yourself. If you think that I'm crazy or whatever, okay, that's your opinion. You're allowed to have it. Even I question my sanity sometimes too. I'm like, what's going on? Because I'm so used to a certain way in the past. I was so used to a certain program of thinking, the way of thinking. So if you watch my videos and you're cool with me, awesome. I thank you. energetically for anybody that is supporting me, even if you can't physically show it or say it, but you support me, thank you. It means a lot to me because I don't have anybody doing that except for me and my cat, Calypso. But yeah, if you need to talk and you're afraid of talking, then at some point somebody stripped that from you. Somebody taught you that expressing yourself in any manner that's emotional was wrong. And that's not true. It never was. That's just something they didn't heal, so they projected it onto you to carry. It's like having luggage and not wanting to carry it all the way. So you have a family member and you just place it on them. You're like, here, take my baggage. Like I'm the fucking bag lady or you're the bag boy. Just because you feel intensely, just because you have a range of emotion and you're not afraid to show it. But then if they take that voice from you, I'm truly grateful I still have mine. If they take that from you, you can get it back. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can get in your way. If you want to say something, say it. Obviously, be mindful. Words are very powerful. Even what I say here now is a reminder to myself, and I have to be very careful, how I express myself to people on here, because I'm trying not to call people out independently. Sometimes it will resonate with you. Sometimes maybe I am interconnected with certain individuals in my life, especially those that have been close to me. If I pick up on certain things and I talk about it randomly, maybe that's your message. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing, because I obviously am not shutting up. I don't think that's possible. And I'm okay with that. In fact, I'm quite enamored with myself watching my videos back sometimes. Not all the time, but I'm like, oh wow, I'm doing so good.